replay viewers, remember that you can tap the screen to give hearts and show appreciation and funness if you so desire. Hey guys! Hi everybody coming in. I know I have a bit of a light halo. It's because I am sitting here with the wonderful and fabulous Marci Harper. We've been laughing a lot and getting ready. We had a couple of, Amber says hi. I don't know if you can see her. A couple of interesting adjustments to make with the tripod. Finally realized we're gonna lose the tripod since I don't have my new lenses yet. And it's gonna be a great interview. Yay, Lachey's here. She says she's so excited. We've got a good full house. For anybody that's new, welcome. Oh, hi Amy, hi Jessica. Welcome to Shescopes, the special Wednesday, Wonder Woman Wednesday edition. And wow, that's gonna blind y'all if I turn that way. Just remember, oh yes, just like Mama Kara did, you can share. This is gonna be a fabulous interview. I don't even feel shy saying that you should share it. Sorry, let me make sure I'm adjusted. And you can do that on an Android device by swiping up. Hey, Chrissy. Mwah. Or you can go from left to right. And from there, you can share to Twitter or you can share with all your followers. Thank you so much, those of you that are, yay, Jess, taking a break from sociology. Yeah, we'll bring it. Thank you so much for inviting your followers. I think we're going to have a really, really fun group here today. All right, so what Wonder Woman Wednesday started from was one of the very first, like, serious broadcasts. And it wasn't that serious because I was dressed up like Wonder Woman. Like, there's a limit to how serious it was, you know? But one of the first ones I did, and it was on Wonder Woman. And I was going to expose the myth of Wonder Woman, like Among Us, like the mom Wonder Woman, and say that there aren't any, because I've been called like the Wonder Woman mom for years because I do a whole bunch of stuff. So my thought was, oh, I'll expose the myth. I'll show them the hole in my kid's wall. I'll show them my piles of laundry, all the stuff, that I can't keep up with. And then it was about 10 minutes before I was going to go on, I was already wearing my little crown and I had my red Wonder Woman lipstick on, and the Lord showed me I had it backwards, that people didn't need to see that I wasn't Wonder Woman. They needed to realize that they are. And so we talked about the fact that there are gifts and talents in all of us, passions and purpose, which is those are the two things that Marci's here to talk with us about today. How many kids? Marci, you have 4 and I have 4. There's a lot of children represented in this room right now. Hello, Becca. Welcome, welcome. Anyway, so that is where Wonder Woman Wednesdays came from. And every Wednesday, I will have another wonderful woman here, and we will just dive in and talk a little bit. You guys are free to ask questions, to interact, to comment. Remember, you can always share if you haven't already. And yay, I'm glad you're enjoying that. Let's see, do I know you? Hi, X-Ray Tech. I'm seeing if that was... I thought that was somebody else, but anyways, welcome X-Ray Tech. I thought you might be my cousin, but you're not. All right, so let me flip around. You guys can say hi to Marci. Oh yeah, I did it. Didn't I? Did I show where we are? We're at Shescopes. Yeah, I don't know if I remembered. Oh, also you can go back and see that Wonder Woman one and all of our other ones on YouTube. We have saved those. Remember, you can tap the screen to give hearts if you like anything about this, or you just want to let me know I'm here and I'm alive and I'm breathing and you're not talking just to your phone. That's good too. All right, so let's say hi to Marci. Hi, Marci.
Hi.
All right, so Marci, tell us a little bit about yourself and like what you do.
Okay, so this is my first time on Periscope.
Yes, welcome.
On the other side of the camera.
Right.
So I'm just going to say I'm super nervous.
Don't. Lachey, Kristen, my friend Chrissy, they're all saying hi, Marci, and giving hearts.
Hi, friends.
Sarah Razzo says hi. MH28 Soch says hi from Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Jessica says hi. Amy says hi. Marion Alsop says hi. Crystal Cox says hi. Kara says hi.
Oh, wow, that's so exciting.
J.L. Grooms. Corey Harper says hi, Marci. Love you. Gee, I wonder if that could be somebody you know.
Hi, hubby. Hi, hot hubby.
All right, so go ahead and just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, so who I am. First and foremost, I love Jesus.
Yes.
And I love my husband. In fact, he's known as Hot Hubby.
Yes, he is. We
Facebook
all know him as Hot
Instagram.
Hubby. I didn't know his name until today.
Yes, he gets so embarrassed when I say that, but that's just, between him and I. So I love my husband, and I have 4 children that are adorable, and I love them too, of course. And then also I sing at Gateway Church. I'm on the worship team there and have been for 9 years. And I've been at Gateway for 11. Our family attends there. And then I also am a counselor at Cassie Reed Counseling. I'm a licensed professional counselor.
Awesome.
And I just work part-time, but I love it, and it's amazing. And I think everyone needs counseling at least once in their lives.
Oh yes, I agree. I was talking about that yesterday on the coffee one. Everybody needs counseling. Everybody. What is your favorite thing about your job?
Which one?
The counseling one.
Because I kind of consider all of them
your job.
Yeah, I mean, even though I love singing and it's not really, doesn't seem like work to me, it still is a job. Counseling, my favorite thing about counseling is to watch someone realize that they don't have to be stuck where they are, that there's freedom. And just to watch that unfold, you can completely see it on their faces. Their posture changes, their attitude changes. It's amazing to see.
That's awesome. Okay, so today you're here, and I wanted to see what you're most interested in talking about, and we settled on passion and purpose, which is perfect because honestly, that has ended up coming up. It's been involved in a lot of the conversations we've been having here on Shescopes, like over the last few weeks. So it was really interesting to hear you say that was the same kind of thing that your heart was bubbling up with. So what would be the first thing you wanted to tell us about passion and purpose?
Well, I think the first thing I would like to tell you is kind of where I got to this place that I am, because I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I sing on the worship team, and I'm there about 5 out of every 6 weekends, and then I also counsel part-time, so I do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I feel passionate about all those things. I'm very passionate about being a wife and pursuing that, and pursuing my children as a mom, and then singing and counseling. And so that's a lot of stuff, and some people just have one thing that they're totally passionate about, and that's great. I'm kind of what I like to call a popcorn passionate person, where it kind of popcorns around. And I'm also very passionate about interior design, and I'm very passionate about my friends and trying to juggle all that. I'm a master juggler, although I drop the ball all the time.
Well, that makes me feel better to hear.
And we were talking earlier before we got on the camera that there are things that I completely am horrible at.
Which is good and reassuring to know, because if you were good at everything on top of all of that, I would just kick you out.
No,
I'd be like, leave. Leave. You're too perfect. None of us can relate.
No. Like, number one, even though I'm on the worship team and there's cameras in front of me all the time, I'm crazy camera shy, and I have been since 9 years. In fact, I've told the camera people to not put me on camera as much as possible, as little as possible. I'm also not very good with speaking English, as you can already tell.
No, you're doing
especially when I'm nervous. And so there's tons of things. I can't draw worth a hoot, and my husband is an amazing artist. So yes, there's things that I'm horrible at. In fact, I was telling you earlier that...
That's right, X-ray tech, they sure do. There will be little interjections, just ignore me. I'm just talking to our people.
Fine. Yes, talk to them. When I was staying home with the kids, which I'll talk about later, I decided it'd be a great idea to clean houses. And if anybody knows me on Periscope right now, they're probably laughing, because I don't clean. I don't clean well, and in fact, my husband goes off behind me and cleans up after me.
And you decided you were going to clean houses?
Yes, and so I was going to clean houses. I don't know. Anyway, so it
didn't work out well?
Yes. No, it did not work out well. Yeah. You can kind of get off track sometimes, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So, but I wanted to talk to y'all about pursuing your purpose, pursuing your passion in life, because I know sometimes as moms, we might feel a little stuck, like I talked about in counseling, especially if we're stay-at-home moms and do not feel called to work full-time, or maybe we feel stuck in our jobs and want to be at home with our kids. I don't know. I kind of have learned how to do both, and I have been blessed to have the opportunity to do that. But pursuing your passions and your purpose is kind of what I want to talk about. And so the first thing I wanted to talk about is for everyone, if they could kind of figure out what their passion is, what their purpose is.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Exactly. And it can be different
Thanks
in different.
for all those chocolate hearts, whoever's sending this through.
It can be different in different stages of life. It doesn't have to be always the same thing.
Which, can I just say, that was so reassuring to hear you say that, because there are times where I've been, here home, and my passions, like, I'm passionate about my kids. I'm not actually passionate about being a stay-at-home mom, but I've felt like that's where I'm supposed to be. So it's really encouraging to know that, like, well, you were home and now you're back in the workplace, and like, that's not flakiness. I think I've always felt flaky because I skip around, but that's like, I mean, you're a counselor, so I mean, it just made me feel validated that you have skipped around and finding your passions, and that they have shifted and stuff.
Yes, they have. In my career, I've been a daycare worker. I've been a teacher. I've been a behavior modification specialist. I've been a school counselor.
Yes, Lachey.
Now I'm a L.P.C. counselor. So yes, I pop around even in that just one realm of counseling and serving people. So, but that's my personality. I know there's other people that their personalities are totally different. And like I said, they pursue one thing, and they've known they've wanted to do that their whole lives, and that's what they want to do. So God gives us each a purpose, and it's specific for our lives. And what I want to say, if you have a hard time finding your purpose or finding your passion, the first thing you need to do is ask the Lord. Why did you create me? What am I here for? What is my purpose? What is my passion? And He'll tell you. And then the second thing is that God gives us the desires of our hearts. So He gave me the passion for singing. He also gave me the talent to do it. I don't take any credit for it. He gave it to me, and He gave me the
I love that, Becca.
The knowledge and the know-how to do counseling also. So, I give Him all the credit for all of this, and I really try to listen every day to what He's telling me to do and to how to pursue those passions and purposes in my life. So that's kind of the first thing.
Aldridge Beth says, I'm a stay-at-home mom to a 3-year-old, and I often feel like I live a mundane life.
Yes, and I felt that way too. I stayed home for 11 years and did not work except for on the weekends when I did get to sing, which honestly sometimes that was one of the only things that made me keep going.
I remember seeing you there with your kids sitting on the front row during sound check.
Yes,
and it was really hard on you. Like, it was like everybody else was, standing there kind of kicking back, waiting for their turn to do, a mic check or whatever. And you were parenting. You must have really had passion to be there.
Yes, I did.
It was a sacrifice just to be able to be there. I watched it for years.
Oh, thank you. When I was at home, I knew that I was called to be a stay-at-home mom. I knew that I was called to spend full time with my kids when they were little, but I didn't really know how to do that. My mom raised me to be a very independent woman and to pursue a career.
I'll ask her in just a second, Marian.
And a passion, and I loved that. I loved that she raised me that way. But I also knew that I was called to be a stay-at-home mom. So I kind of had to find that balance, and there were days that I felt lost.
Yeah. Now, Marian wants to know, if you're following your passion, what do you do when you're encountering burnout in that situation? Like, you are following your passions, but you have that dry, crispy feeling.
I think then I would question the way that you are pursuing that passion. That maybe that needs to be altered a little bit.
That's good.
Of course, almost every answer that I give, I just kind of need to give a blank statement, is you're going to go to the Lord.
Yeah, it's always going to be the first step.
That's always going to be the first step. So we can just kind of put that, as a
That'll
disclaimer.
That'll be our lens. The lens we have to view all the answers through. Let's see. X-Ray Tech says, my wife started her part-time job so she would stay sane and talk to adults.
That's exactly right.
Team Mom, don't worry. You will be able to see this via a link later, and then it will be here on Periscope for 24 hours. And you can come back and view it. And then after that, it will be available on YouTube on our Shescopes channel. So, yes.
Okay. So to further answer Marian's question is that I use this term called trust your gut, and I totally stole it from my boss, which is Cassie Reed. She's amazing. She's our lead counselor and owner of our Cassie Reed Counseling, our business. So she always says trust your gut. So a lot of the times in counseling, we'll say, what does your gut say? So about pursuing your purpose and your passion, and then getting kind of stale. What does your gut say? And your gut is the Holy Spirit. It's God speaking to you in your life, and you need to learn to trust that.
Awesome. That's good. If anybody else has little questions as we go through, go ahead and... Oh, here we go. Here's another one from Aldridge Beth. When you stayed at home, did you have a set daily schedule to move your day along?
Okay, so I talked about that popcorn passion thing.
Yes, that's so good, Becca.
So my whole life has been like just a bunch of popcorn. So schedules, I'm not a scheduler, and I've learned to embrace that. I have to schedule some things, like, I have to show up for my clients on time.
Yeah.
Things like that. But no, I've never had a set schedule. But I have friends that they live and die by their schedule because that's how their personality works. So you really have to find what works for you.
And what, gives you life instead of taking life from you. If I try to live by a very regimented schedule, a little part of me is never, it's like a spark that never engages. Right. Versus other people, without that, they don't have that, little piece of themselves engaged. Singer Hippie Girl wants to know, what was it, Becca? Oh, if you're a songwriter.
Oh gosh, no. My husband would like me to be, and he continues to encourage me to write a song. He keeps saying, there's a song in you, there's a song in you, there's lots of songs in you. But honestly, it has not been a passion of mine. And
maybe you're like Becca from Pitch Perfect too, and you just need to team up with your songwriter. And it'll come out.
There you go, Becca. Are you a songwriter, Becca?
I think Becca is a songwriter, actually. All right, so what was next in our passion and purpose goodness?
Okay, so next, and we kind of talked about it.
Oh, yes, she is actually.
Oh, yay. Okay, Becca, we have to meet. So we've been talking on Periscope before. And
That's right.
Yes,
That's
we have to
one.
meet. So we have so many things in common, including Brian. That would be a whole nother conversation. So the next thing is inviting your circumstances into your purpose.
Ooh.
So, like I talked about, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a singer, and I'm a counselor. I don't want to totally exclude my husband from, obviously I'm not going to exclude them from the children, but from being a singer or being a counselor. I try to include all of it into everything that I'm going through. When I was a stay-at-home mom, yes, there were limits to what I could do. I just couldn't leave the house and leave my 4 kids, 5 and under, to go do whatever I wanted to do. So I had to invite my circumstances of life into the purposes and the plans that God had for me. And sometimes that means putting some passions on the back burner for a while, and sometimes it means finding a way to include them. Like what Melissa said earlier, I would go to rehearsal for worship team, and I literally would have a baby on my hip, one down,
hear you, Amy.
Holding on to my legs, and then I had 2 other ones out running around in the sanctuary.
Yes.
So, and I'd be like, go sit down, and I'd start singing. So inviting all that in and trying to have a good balance with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sarah wants to know, did you get your L.P.C while being a mom?
I actually did.
Really? I did not realize.
Yes, and I went to school and did most of my schooling before I became a mom. However, I think I was pregnant with my first child when I finished my graduate work. Finally.
Wow.
And then I was a school counselor before I became a mom. And then
Sarah's greatly encouraged by that.
Oh, good. And then 11 years passed because I said I stayed home. I stayed home for 11 years. And actually, it was my boss, Cassie, who encouraged me to come work for her. And I said, I don't have my L.P.C. And she's like, well, why not? And so I ended up being able to take the test and pass it. And so I've recently passed the L.P.C. That was 2-3 years ago, I guess. So I've been counseling for about 3 years.
So you had been in the counseling field for a long time.
Yes, I was in the counseling field for a long time, and then I took an 11-year break. Now I say that, but I still counseled in my life. That's another thing, is that just because you don't get paid for it doesn't mean it's not your passion that you can pursue.
Yeah, I kind of can't turn it off.
Exactly.
All the good things that have been poured into me from Gateway, Alan, Bob, Barbara, I can't help it. It just comes out.
Right.
The good, solid advice. Yeah, I just have to stop myself sometimes.
So yeah.
Ooh, Jessica is just starting towards her L.P.C, so this is very, very encouraging for her. I didn't know
Jessica.
that, Jess.
Oh, that's awesome.
Amazing.
That's
Unless Shay
amazing.
says, preach. And I can almost see her being like, yeah.
Yeah, I found that I was doing counseling whether I was getting paid for it or not, with my
Yeah.
friends or at church. I led Bible studies and spoke in groups and things like that. And so I still pursued
Thanks
my
for all the
passion
hearts, guys. That's
without,
fabulous.
without it being a profession.
Right. It was just
So,
part of who you were.
Yeah.
So I guess
it
that's,
is.
it like is right in line with what you're saying about like your passion and your purpose being intertwined. Like that was just always, it was always part of who you were.
Right.
So what is next?
So what's next is kind of want to talk about comparison,
Ooh, that's a good one.
because my passions and the way I pursue them are going to be different than yours or anybody else's. It may look different. It may feel different.
Got some amens coming in.
Even with, got some what? Amens?
Amens.
Yes.
Amen.
And to not compare.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest things that I learned in being in women's ministry and learning from other women and being in women's groups is that it all looks different. God makes us all unique, and we all have special talents and special purposes, and knowing that it's not all the same, and that just because my kids don't look the way your kids look, or act the way your kids look, or behave the way your kids behave, because my house is not going to look like your house, and especially not going to be as clean as your house.
Yeah, Beth
I've
says she
learned to
struggles with
accept
that all the time, comparing herself with other stay-at-home moms. Oh, girlfriend, don't even get me started on that, though. Let me just tell you.
You just have to shut that channel off.
Yeah,
Comparison is completely from the enemy. It's just there to mess you up. There's nothing good about it. So
Nothing good ever comes from it.
Yeah, exactly. So, and if you're talking to the Lord, if you're having daily conversation with the Lord, then He will build you up and encourage you and edify you in that, so you don't have to sit there and compare with other people.
I was just about to ask, so if you're somebody that like deeply struggles with comparison, like what would you say? I mean, obviously we're going to go to the Lord. Would there be anything else?
I would say the first thing is you need to shift your focus, because I believe maybe we're spending so much time thinking about the negative things in our lives, the things that we feel like we don't do well, or that we could do better, or things like that, and to shift your focus from the negative to the positive. So there's this little song. A lot of things I do, I sing to my kids. So there's a little song that I've always sung. In fact, I sung it to my husband yesterday when he was having a little bit of a bad day, and it's from Jungle Book.
Do it.
It's so it's like,
do it.
Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Yeah, that's the only part I know about it. But
Hey, it works.
it's just a little motto that I always go by. My number 2 strength is positivity, so it's easy for me to do that. But switching your focus to what you do well, to what you to the positive things in your life, the gifts you have in your life, focusing everything on the positive really helps, and it helps keep away that comparison.
Yeah, and Jessica said, she threw out there that it helps to start trying to extend the same grace to yourself that seems easy to extend to other people.
That is so
I know
true.
that's been really true for me.
We are our own worst critic many times. There's probably no one out there thinking the things that you're thinking about yourself in a negative way. It's just you.
Yeah. We were talking about that the other day, weren't we all?
Yes, we were. So, and then the last thing, do you want me to move on? Or
Go for it.
Anything? The last thing I'd like to say is that it's okay to make mistakes while pursuing your passion and your purpose.
You should see the flood of hearts that just started pouring up when you said that. It was like, whoosh.
It's okay. Have I already talked about cleaning houses? Yes, I did.
Yes.
I already talked about that. So yeah, that was a mistake. Yeah, it did nothing for me. Nothing towards pursuing my passion or my goal. It was just there to give us a little extra money, and really that's not what I'm here for. So yeah, it's okay to make mistakes, and once again we return back to the Lord and we ask Him to redirect us and ask Him to show us what our plan is and what He has for us.
That is awesome. Did anybody else have any other questions for Marci? Singer Hippie Girl just said, God's plan is the best, isn't it?
It is the best.
Okay, so Aldridge Beth said, aside from the Lord, how do you find your passion?
What do you love to do? What are you good at?
Mm-hmm. Like not be one of the people on American Idol that's so passionate about being a famous singer and they can't sing.
Exactly.
Might not be their area.
What do you love to do? What are you good at? And then, like I said, trust your gut.
Yeah.
And then trial and error sometimes. If you are having a hard time hearing the Lord, you're having a hard time figuring that out and how to hear his voice and all that stuff, then go with what he's created inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
And what you love to do. I know Melissa loves to dance, and so she pursues life in that way. She never leaves that part out of her life.
Mm-hmm.
I love to sing. I've been singing since I was 3. It's just something I've always loved to do.
Good. Kristen just said, what would you stay up for all night and not get paid for?
Exactly. What would you do for free?
Perfectly. That's really good. Yeah, that does help, Kristen. That's good.
And even if that can't be, even if your passion can't be your job for the moment, you're still going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Okay, that was helpful to Beth. She said good stuff. Anybody else have any questions? We've got a lot of people on here today.
Oh, they're so sweet. Thank you for listening. And
Jess wants to know, how do you maintain a balance of life responsibilities and your dreams and not get mom guilt? It's a good freaking question.
That would just be, I don't know. I have mom guilt sometimes. I have a lot of mom guilt. And I have to give that to the Lord a lot. So, I really wish I could say that I'm the kind of person that is like, make a list and prioritize and write things down. And I'm just not that kind of person. So if you are that kind of person, do that.
You're like, because that would be plan A.
Yes, my husband is that kind of person. He makes lots of lists. In fact, he makes lists of lists. And that's how he works. And that's how he gets the job done. And he actually is... He wouldn't say this, but I think he's
so glad to hear that, Beth.
Passionate about organization. That's probably one of his things. It is not one of mine.
I'm with you.
So
well, you walked past my workroom on the way, so you already know that.
So I'm a feeler. I'm a sensor.
Intuitive.
I'm intuitive. I'm things like that. So I'm gonna work a totally different way and try to figure that out a totally different way. And for me, and see, now I've totally even forgot what the question is.
How do you balance these things without getting into mom guilt?
For me, and I'm not going to apologize if I get super spiritual, because
we're all being authentic to our own voice.
That's who I am. So I do my best to do only what the Lord tells me to do and go only where the Lord tells me to go. And sometimes when the kids were little and I had kids that were, I had 4 kids, 6 and under, during that year, and I had 3 kids in diapers, I didn't leave the house a lot, And then as they got older and I was able to pursue more things, then I was able to do more things. But I learned to hear what God had for me.
That's good.
Sometimes it was day by day.
Yeah. She said sometimes you have a primary calling and a secondary calling. And
exactly.
Like prioritizing.
Definitely. And we talked about how your callings can change, I think, before that. I was super, super into being a stay-at-home mom and being a full-time mom when my kids were little. And then God birthed in me another passion as they got older. And he birthed it out of boredom, I can tell you that. When all my kids were in school, my last one went to kindergarten, I was bored out of my mind.
Now, did you stay home that first year?
I stayed home to kindergarten when my last one was in kindergarten. And because I really wanted to be able to be involved and go up to the school and be involved in the classroom.
Oh my God, I have to be honest. I hate volunteering.
Well, I don't do it now, but
I
did it that one year.
I am the worst public school mom ever.
Oh, no, I think I've got you beat.
I do not. I told his sweet little teacher this year. Oh, look at, we've got hands raising. Yay! We're not the only ones. I told them, I said, I will love you and support you and work with you with my son. He's very challenging, but yeah, I'm not your room mom. I'm not, no.
Exactly, yes.
Oh, Amy's like, me too.
I learned that mistake.
Crystal says, I'll give you money. That's how I feel. I'm like, I'll spend money.
I learned that mistake by being a room mom one year, and I was like, I will never do that again. Because being a room mom takes planning and organization and...
You can't intuit it.
Making lists. Yeah, you can't just feel it out and plan a party in a day. You just can't do that.
No, you can't do that.
So yeah.
Here, I'm going to flip it around. You're like, give me a break. I can't remember who asked the question. I think it was Jess. But a piece of wisdom that I've held onto for years. Amy's like, room mom. Like I can picture her face even. Is one good way to figure out and prioritize is to think it through in the like through the lens or filter of only do what only you can do. Exactly. And you know, he looks at it for him and somebody, oh great, I'm glad that you were with us, X-Ray Tech. Thanks for visiting us. You know, somebody else could mow his lawn, but only he could run his company and parent his kids and some stuff like that. And so that's been really helpful for me in figuring out what I'm going to do and how I'm going to balance my different areas of passion. And there are some things that only I can do. And so I give those priority over the things that I can delegate. There's some things you can't delegate. Like you can't delegate having that conversation with your kid. You can't delegate, like I can't delegate designing my jewelry to somebody else. I mean, I suppose I could, but it wouldn't.
Why?
Like, I was like, those are the things that make me feel alive. So, anyways, I thought that was a great piece of advice from Mr. Yuri Star, and I was going to pass that on. So I'm coming back. All right, does anybody else have any questions for Marci? We're getting applause. They like us, Marci.
Oh, good.
And lots of alien heads because I haven't updated my iOS.
What does alien heads mean?
You'll see on the replay. My emojis, the new ones won't show up on my phone, so it looks like many little alien heads. Literally. When you go back and watch this, you'll see.
Okay.
I'll do it.
I don't know if I'll go back and watch this.
Well, yeah. Don't do it if you don't want it. Crystal says this was awesome. Amy's blowing kisses and making happy faces.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
So if nobody else has any questions, alien heads. Oh, Jess says, how about some advice on how to get back up from disappointments and failures?
Oh, wow.
Man, I can remember some where I didn't even want to get out of bed. Like, Can I just hide under my blanket and ignore life?
So sometimes it's very comfortable to, like, I tell a lot of counselees this, clients this, it's very comfortable sometimes to stay in our pits. Mm-hmm. To stay in our rooms, to stay in our beds, whatever you want to call your pit that you're in. It's sometimes easier to play the victim and to stay in there.
Kind of indulge that.
The woe is me, yes, and indulge in all that. But there has to be one day where you wake up and you're just like, I'm done. I'm done.
There you go, Crystal. She said, right as you said that, she's like, just don't unpack there.
Exactly.
Kristen says, no decorating your pit.
Yes, no decorating your pit. Yeah, we have been all to the same Bible study. No decorating your pit, exactly. And so you're just done, and and even just taking that first step, and what that is going to be different for everybody.
Yeah.
For me, it was prayer. Mm-hmm. You know, there were days when I was in a particular pit that I didn't even want to pray. I didn't even want to talk to God. I was mad at him. I was ticked off at him, and I didn't want to talk to him. And if I talked to him, I would probably cuss. Mm-hmm. And so I did not do
that a lot anyway.
Yeah. So I was at the point where I didn't want to do that. And so,
I love it, Amy. Don't stop.
Just getting out there and saying, okay, God, you know, I'm done in my pit. So now what do you want me to do? Mm-hmm. How do I get that? Taking that first step is sometimes the most difficult.
Yeah.
But you get the most rewards from it.
It's true. That's so true. Anybody else got anything before we sign off for the day? You got a professional counselor at your mercy. We got a full room. Bring it. If it's too crazy, I'll just be like, not asking her that.
Yeah, you can ask me things that are not
Amy says,
passion things.
My pit is a daily battle with a chronic disease, and it's hard.
Yes, I know, Amy. Gosh. I'm sorry.
That's intense.
I know.
I'm like, that's heavy.
That is. It's very heavy.
Aw, sad faces from... She's like crickets.
So, Amy, how do you get out of your daily pit? Can you share with us that?
She might be typing. Amy, tell us how you do get out of your pit. Let's see. Dang it. The other Amy had just said something. She says, I usually pray.
That's good.
Shauna says she's in the pit of waiting. Oh, yes. She said worship. All right, worship. So your way of dealing with it is also very spiritually entwined, which I think for any of us that are believers, that's going to be truth. Now, do you ever counsel counselees who are not believers?
Yes, I do.
Now, what would you say to somebody that's like stuck in a pit and they don't have the Lord, which, dang, that sucks.
It does. It does. Yes, we do counsel non-believers. In fact, we do not advertise ourselves as Christian counselors so that we can try to minister to everyone and counsel everyone. So there's ways that we can use language that does not actually talk about God, but we are talking about God.
Right. Kind of like how Brene Brown does a lot of her stuff. Yes. Can be digested by believers or non-believers alike.
Exactly. And for the instance about trusting your gut, well, trusting your gut really is trusting the Holy Spirit. Mm-hmm. But for somebody that doesn't really know the Lord, because God's involved in your life and speaks to you whether you believe in Him or not. And so He's going to talk to you in any way that you can. And even if that's trusting your gut, that's what it means. Or the whole
like women's intuition, a lot of
women's
things like
intuition, things like that.
Amy says, trusting your knower.
Exactly.
Ooh, I like that, Michelle.
Yes, your knower. That's good. So yes, we do. I still use a lot of spiritual messages, even though they may not come out spiritual. Yes.
Yeah.
And most people that do come in, they have some sort of sense of God.
Right. Yes, Coxie Mama, good question. She does indeed have her own Periscope. You can find her at Marci H. So make sure you all go follow her. Coxie Mama's like, I'm all over that. And who knows, maybe if she gets enough followers, you guys can convince her to do a session here or there where she takes questions.
I know. I have to figure out. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what my purpose is on Periscope right now. Because I really don't know. And I think my husband, I don't know if he's watching or not yet, but I think...
Where are my hearts, people? Come on.
This is like one more social media app that I don't even know if I need. So we're just going to figure that out. I'm still pursuing what I'm supposed to be doing on Periscope.
That's awesome. That's really good. Lachey's like, please scope, Marci. Corey's like, I'm still here.
Oh, hi, baby. I love you.
No, that's really good. Actually, it's like you gave advice without even trying to. Just what you just demonstrated is it's okay to not jump into something. My husband would love if I would just not jump into something a little more often, to pause, reflect, and pray before you make a mistake.
Yes. And I don't know if I told you this, but I also, I teach voice and piano.
Oh.
So, yeah, I do that too and feel passionate about that. So that's why, my husband or some of my best friends would be like, what are you doing on Periscope? Like you don't need another job.
Goodness Kisses is just saying, purpose on Periscope. I struggle between work or personal. I'm going to take this one because this is something that I had gone back and forth on, Kristen. But you know what? I really, Corey says it says candidate, but I think he meant to say can do to reach lives and help others is great. Do you like how I auto-corrected that, Corey?
My husband, Corey?
Yeah, that's what he said. He's so sweet. She's having a moment, Corey. I called it. I was on it, Corey. I totally was like, I know what candidate actually means. I decided, Kristen, and I think this would be good for you. Hold on. I'm reading this out loud. We'll hold on to it. I'm in a lonely place. God is working some things out and no green light to get involved right now. So Scope helps her feel connected. Oh, that's good. That was Lachey. Kristen, I think this would be for you too, because you have kind of the same personality that I do. I decided I was tired of just giving segments of myself, of like picking and choosing what I was going to present to the world. And I decided, like, for me, for Periscope, it's going to be everything. You're going to get my dance. You're going to get the deep side of me. You're going to get the side of me that dances in my kitchen and makes a recipe. I am going to allow like my authentic self to come through. And you have so much depth and you have so much creative talent. I really think you should consider not questioning when you want to do something besides Goodnight Kisses with your Periscope, because I think you have a lot more than just your creative talent to bring to the world. Yes, you're an amazing actress. You are amazing on video. You just are really awesome. So let me just call out some of that goodness right there and say, I think that you should allow your Periscope to reflect all the facets of who you are, to let the light shine out through all of them and not just a few. She says, I have companies that watch me that want to pitch to me. I have followers from YouTube and then friends. Yep. Do it anyways. I totally understand. Yeah, it's easy to feel like you have typecast yourself. Don't. Just break out of that. Refuse to do it. All right, Marci has something to say.
She's waiting?
Yes.
Okay, so there's purpose in your waiting.
Ooh,
And usually
that's
what
good.
it is, which I did not want to hear when someone told me that I was waiting, but I listened and I heard eventually, was that God is preparing you for your next step. He's preparing you for the next thing he has for you. And sometimes in the waiting is when you will draw closer to the Lord. You will learn more about what your purpose is and what your plan is. And were you able to pursue your passions instead of wait? You may not be ready or prepared.
Oh, that's good.
For when God opens that door.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of really good sense. Anybody else? There's lots of hugs. Aldridge Beth says, I've been in the waiting of trying to conceive, and it's so hard to trust God's timing. We have a lot of mamas that have walked through infertility on here right now. So I completely... Oh, you too?
Yes.
All right. What would you have to say to Aldridge Beth?
So, my first child is biological, but my other 3 are adopted.
I think I knew that you had an adopted child because we were in Titus 2 together,
Yes.
but I didn't realize it was the rest of your children.
Yes, all my children are adopted. So, yes, I've dealt with infertility since child number 1. That's it.
So you had secondary infertility.
Yes, we had secondary infertility.
That adoption was how that was overcome.
Right. I got pregnant one more time, and our baby Faith is in heaven. So,
playing with my Lily and Jasmine.
so yes.
Aw, Sarah, that's so good.
The waiting is difficult, especially for children. When you feel so passionate about children and wanting to have children, it is very difficult. For me, it was I wrestled with the Lord a lot. I wrestled with God a lot and went to Him daily, and we tried everything. And I get where you're coming from. For us, our answer was adoption, and the Lord led us to that. For other people, it's waiting for 9 years and then miraculously getting pregnant.
Or 8, like Sarah.
Yes. For others, it's different. It's a different thing. And that's, again, what I'm going to say, as our disclaimer, is you have to seek the Lord.
Yeah.
And what he has for you.
Shauna says she is waiting for restoration for her husband's job. They are 63 days into just waiting. So I guess that's just a matter of staying strong and keeping your focus centered.
It is. And learning that God is your provider, not your husband, although he, typically is the one that goes out there and gets a job. But God is your provider, and he will provide everything that you need, even during the, what did I used to call it? The macaroni season. What's that really cheap macaroni?
Hamburger Helper?
No, the Hamburger Helper
Kraft?
season.
The Kraft mac and cheese. Ramen. Amy says
yes,
ramen.
Thank
you, Amy.
The ramen noodle season.
Yes.
Yes, because they're like 25 cents a package.
Yeah, even cheaper than that.
Yeah, something like that.
Crazy.
Yeah. So even in that season, God's providing.
That's true. Hey, I have been in a season where I literally, hold on. If there's anybody out there who financially, like that, not just speaking like emotionally and spiritually in the ramen season, but for anybody who's been in like the ramen season, like financially, literally, I went through years where I couldn't even afford to buy real milk. I bought dried milk and I reconstituted it. And Sarah's like, I remember this because we believed that I was supposed to be home. I wasn't supposed to be working. And I have seen all of those things that they promise. I've seen them actually happen. And sometimes it's hard when I watch friends that they've been in that place for a long time. And it's really hard when the bounty has rushed into my life and they're still there. What would you say to someone who has, who their breakthrough hasn't come? Like they've been waiting years. Like I see 7 years, like people are throwing out dates.
Wow.
Like they've been in that place of waiting and the provision area. It looks like we've got a couple people in here. Like what would you say to somebody like their breakthrough hasn't come?
So
let me just put you on the spot with a really hard one.
That is a really hard one. And I don't have all the answers.
One says, I'm sitting at the red light, and somebody else says, I feel like Gideon.
Yes. Yes. I think that you have to find where God is in your situation. You have to find what he's doing.
Like right there.
Like right there. And then go towards that. Because
how many years did David live in the caves and stuff? Like,
yes,
people
David lived in
pursued him
caves. Yes.
for like a long time, right? Like they
Yes.
hated him, they were trying to kill him. And he was destined to be king, but like it could not have felt like it during those years.
And of course, and that was when God was protecting you. A lot of times people say God's hiding you or God's protecting you. Well, that's straight from Scripture, and it's true.
And you may not feel like it, but
yes,
it's
you may not
true.
feel like it, but in the waiting, there's a protection factor in there. There's like I said before, there's a learning curve in there in the waiting. And so if you feel stuck, like I said before, you need to shift your focus.
And some of David's most beautiful psalms came from the years in the caves.
Right. Exactly. Some of his best work.
His best work. Guys, well, wow, people liked that. There's connection happening. People are saying hi. All right, guys, everybody send some hearts through for Marci. Say thank you for being here with us.
Thanks.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thanks for
and
helping
then
me
let
with
me do a
this
little bit of,
one.
yes, it was awesome. It was so good. It got like deep. It got super deep, didn't it? Lots of hearts for you. All right, so let's do just a tiny bit of housekeeping stuff before my battery dies, because you'd think I was like a Periscope newbie or something. Oh, Sarah says, Marci, you look great. See? Your makeup looks good, I told you.
Thank you.
T-Mom, I'm wondering if that's your mom maybe? She's saying love you. Or somebody loves you. It's, either way, it's great.
T-Mom?
It says T, like
Yes,
the letter.
that's my mom.
Oh, it is your mommy. Hi.
I can't believe you're on Periscope.
I love you. Okay, so I have made a Facebook group for our community, and that's where we will also do the book club. You don't have to be in the book club to join the community. Marci, could you hold this for just a second, just like that? Let me grab my computer. I got a link. I got the actual, oh, you're doing it. Good job. An actual web address that you guys can go to request. Oh yeah, to request joining the Shescopes group. It is only for our female Shescopers. We have some awesome dudes. We love you too. We're glad you're here, but this group is for that. All right, so you go to facebook.com/groups/Shescopes, and you can click join, and then I will be able to add you. It's awesome here. It's all fancy, and we got members. Awesome. And what I'm not doing is I'm not going through and just adding you because I always see you here, because I'm not going to assume that you want to be there. I hate when people add me to groups. I'm sorry. I'll join if I want to. Here, let me show you. Facebook.com/groups/Shescopes. Group where we can do our book club stuff. We can post links. There's all kinds of stuff. Like today, I'll go in there and I'll give you guys' oh, Chrissy, you already asked. You will be accepted in just a moment. Her handle. We can connect with each other. It's closed, so it's safe. I'm the admin there. And so that should be a really great resource for us and a place to connect with some of the more tangible things that sometimes we just have, like stuff that's easier than me holding up little cards. It'll be on there too. All right, did anybody have anything? Tomorrow is going to be, so you post our handle in the file. What a good idea. Do an introduction post, and then after you do a little introduction post, I'll go through, or I'll ask somebody else that's administrative. You guys, administration is not my strong suit. Like, creativity and like vision and all of that, like I'm on that. So
you need an administrator.
I need somebody who's like a good administrator, who's gifted in that, to volunteer to collect everybody's introduction. And you don't have to keep like the actual introduction part, but if you could get their name and their handle, or maybe just our first names and our handles, or something like that, so that we'll have a document. That's it. I don't know why it shows an airplane. That's not the thing. Click on the files that are add doc, not upload. Members can add their own. Oh, cool. See, Kristen, you're so good at all that stuff. So I hope a lot of you will come join us on the little Facebook group. I feel like it's going to be a really great addition to our scopes. And today our scope was super Jesus-centric, and that's great because that is me and Marci's authentic voice. Just remember, if you're a Shescoper and your worldview isn't the same as ours, you are welcome with our stuff. Like, we always Yeah, like my friend Andrea is in there, and she's going to do the book club with us, and she comes from a different worldview. We've got a lot of scopers on here that follow, and we can't wait to hear your authentic heart. So, yep. Yay, Kristen! All right, guys, I think we're going to let that be good. I can't think of any other business we had to attend to for today except for watch. I'm about to upload 4 of our videos over the last week to YouTube. I've been a little bit behind. So that's all it. If you would send us out in hearts, that would be awesome.
Bye.
Say bye, bye, bye. I'm waiting until there's a flurry. I like to leave with lots of hearts. Here we go. Here we go. Yay!
Yay! Oh, that's pretty.